All right, we're back. We're gonna go episode 7, little hunt highlight. Kind of talk about what we've been seeing in the woods lately and what we got coming up um, in the near future. We'll probably try to do these once a week. I get to hunt probably once to 3 times a week, so uh, we'll probably have something on my end every week to put out there. But obviously, whenever Tanner gets out or Brooks gets out, we'll get kind of their side of things and what they're looking forward to be doing out in the field. We're still in whitetail season, so we'll eventually get to ducks here at the end of the month. Tanner and I, we talked a little bit about it off the record before we started recording yesterday. That ducks are starting to come in. So eventually we'll get around to talking about ducks and how we're going to do that. And, yeah, but for now it's still whitetail season, and we've got our does each, but here the limit is 3 a day for does, and you get $2 a year. So it's still out there trying to get some meat. Would like to get a decent buck at some point this year, um, at least for us, Tanner and I. So, yeah, I guess really I'm the only one who's been hunting recently. I know Tanner will kind of chime in a little bit later on to talk about what his plan is for the weekend, going into it. But I guess for me, I go down, I got like two different spots that I hunt. We've talked about it sprinkled into the other podcast episodes, but um, I've got like a unit that's south of where I live, and then a unit that's basically like straight east across the lake from me, over closer to Tanner. So during the weekdays, I go down south, and I've really been only, well, you can only get in there on the weekdays to hunt. So, you know, uh, I only get in there once a week, maybe twice a week. So as far as for me, I'm not putting too much pressure on the deer that I'm seeing in those spots that I'm going to. And I feel like, the few hunters that I have seen out there, they're not hunting that same section of the area as me. So uh, I feel good about the amount of pressure, like hunting pressure that they're getting. I the one time I had another person on camera, it looked like he wasn't a hunter. He just happened to be some random person walking through, which was kind of weird. But I feel like there's not a whole lot of human pressure, so I feel like this time of year for me, it's kind of lining up to be pretty advantageous of, they're not having a ton of human pressure. And uh once I can get a really good pattern, which that pattern is about to go haywire with the rut, but um if I can get a good pre-rut pattern of seeing deer moving um in the evenings, because that's when I can hunt it. I can't hunt it in the mornings out there, but um that's kind of the hopes and goals in that area, is get a good pattern and hunt off of that. So um, yeah, Brooks, Tanner, you guys got anything before I kind of talk a little bit more about it?
Saw a big buck today
I saw
somewhere.
Oh yeah,
a big old buckaroo today.
big muley,
Unfortunately, huh?
big mule deer.
Oh yeah, big mule deer. Sorry, Colorado. We got big old mule deer here. In case you didn't know, we have whitetail here too. I've seen it. Actually, here in the pinery. Well, I shouldn't have said that. My bad. But it's where I live. But um, anyways, and I work. So but yeah, they're just big old residential mule deer, and they don't care how close you get to them. They're pretty
Yeah,
chill. Um, he was. We could probably throw in a photo on the edit, but he's a nice. Looks like what, 4x4, maybe 5x4. Um, just solid rack, meaty beef. Just he's fed well, and he had all his ladies with him, all his ladies about that time of year. So so yeah,
yeah.
it was pretty cool. I've seen a lot of good bucks around here, which is it's cool. We got a lot of antelope. Have yet to see an elk, but I believe they are around. So
Mm,
they don't like show face.
yeah, it'd be cool to see him around there.
hmm There's been a lot of elk spotted in Castle Rock, which is just south of us. So
Right.
Yeah, I don't know exactly where you're at, but like Roxborough-ish, kind of into like Castle Pines area, there's a herd that hangs out there from, well, it
yep,
used to be. I haven't been there in 5 years, but
there's a there's a herd that popped up in the South Castle Rock area. So there's some. My buddy was able to get some pretty good pictures of a couple bulls, and they're huge because
yeah,
well they don't get to be hunted.
very true.
Yep. So that's my action as of late.
Nice.
Better than none at all.
Yep.
Sweet. Well,
I will be
yeah.
hunting this weekend. Finally, back at it. We had youth weekend 2 weekends ago, and last weekend I was out of town. So I'll get back at it this weekend. I have a little bit of a plan so far. Kind of wait to see what the weather does this weekend. We're supposed to get quite a bit of rain, it looks like, on Saturday, and then a lesser chance on Sunday. So we'll see what happens. Kind of play it by ear moving forward, but it's looking more so like Sunday for me,
Yeah.
which will be the 10th. So about what a lot of people are projecting to be the start of the rut out here. I've seen a lot of like, I mean, you can't really go wrong if you're out the first 3 weeks of November, 3 or 4 weeks of November. I mean, you'll probably run into rut action.
Yeah.
I've seen a lot of people say that like November 8th through the 18th are going to be primetime days. A lot of other sources say that prime like heat of it is going to be the 24th. But for me, I'm not going to target one day or date. It's going to be get out as much as I possibly can the next few weeks and hopefully run into some bucks chasing some does around.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, that's the beauty of my schedule now is we don't get overtime for our winter hours, winter days, so or months. So we get to kind of skip out like when we work a weekend, we don't have or we don't get to or we don't have to work all day every day. We get to leave at lunch most days, so that's my schedule this week. I get to go out tomorrow and Wednesday, so I'm gonna leave work at lunchtime and probably head like straight down there, grab my stuff at home real quick, and hop down there and it's supposed to be a south wind for the whole sit, so I should be able to get in around where my camera's at, where I've seen the good bucks before. But it's I haven't seen them on camera in the last few days, or like since for at least a week. I have had bucks on there, but not the good ones. But I'll take what I can get as far as the bucks go, especially for the first one. Like I'm not afraid to take a spike for the first buck of the year. But uh, yeah, so I don't know. Well, I don't know whenever I get in there what it'll look like, but I might try to get in tight to that camera or those fields that are right around that bedding area. I might try to get in there. So well, yeah, with that south wind, that's kind of my plan is go up the way that I've been accessing it and come in from that north side and just come in, find a good spot that's kind of food to bed for them. There's not a ton of water over there. Again, we talked about it last episode, looking for where water might be. On the same lake that we hunt, the unit that Tanner and I hunt, but obviously a whole different area. But there's not really a creek that runs through this section of the property. So there's a couple different flood spots that water can hang out in, but there's really not a whole lot of like active moving water. And those wet spots have dried up. I went and checked them on my way out last week. So really the only water is if anything is on private land around there, or they're heading all the way over to the lake, which is from that bedding area. It's kind of a jaunt. So they might be moving because of all that, because the food, like I said, the food got harvested, all the beans got picked. So That and I mean their bedding area has stayed the same, but food and water have kind of the water's kind of dried up a little bit. So I don't know. We'll see when I get in there, but um, if there's any different fresh sign. But last week when I went in, there were a couple more fresh rubs on one of the walk-in like heavy travel spots. So I might try to set up a little bit closer to those. I was setting up when I set up last week. It was I walked in, I saw the rubs, and then I kind of saw where the bigger buck came in and out. Uh, what was that, 2 or 3 weeks ago now? I went to kind of that route to see if he was using that every night. And so that's where I went and I sat there. I think when I go in tomorrow, I'm gonna sit um, probably right on top of a rub, if not right on top of the camera. Just kind of get into where there is really fresh sign. As of right now, that's going to be my best bet. I think is going to where there's the freshest sign because the couple times that I have been in and I've seen deer, I've either bumped them and kind of run into them by accident, or they've been way out and I wasn't in like the exact spot that they were at. So um, I'll get probably up tight into some sign. Um, Look for some rubs. It'd be really nice to find a scrape. I might take everything in to move that camera if I see some fresh sign and go hop over and move that camera before I hop out of there tomorrow night. But yeah, so that's kind of the plan for at least tomorrow, and then uh, kind of adapt as I go for Wednesday. You know, we'll see. It's supposed to be the same wind as tomorrow. Right there at the end of the evening, like right before sunset, the wind might shift. So hopefully that doesn't happen like earlier than it's projected to, because that could kind of really screw with some things. Because it looked like it was supposed to switch from a south to a north, which north wind is like not good for that spot that I want to sit. So hopefully it doesn't switch earlier and it switches like way after sunset. But um, I don't know. What do you guys think? How does that plan kind of sound? Brooks, I know you haven't really seen it, but kind of
Hmm.
mental imagery. What are we thinking? Give me some feedback.
I mean, sounds like a good plan to me. I mean, I've never saddle hunted before, so
Right.
my whole question is like, how do you know? Like, I guess how would you know to if the wind switch, or I don't know, how would you know if you had to switch spots? Essentially,
Look at the weather.
Yeah.
that's it.
Like yeah, literally like south winds are typically warmer winds. Um, north winds are cooler. So like you could right. I mean, this is not Kansas where we're going to be seeing like it's very rare to even have a 20-mile-an-hour wind here.
Mhm.
So, like, if there's wind, it's going to be 0 to 6. So it's going to be very minimal, and it's going to be kind of hard to tell when your wind switches. So you do have to keep an eye on it and like constantly wind check. Um, but we're going to be. I think tomorrow the high is supposed to be 78, and same on Wednesday. So we're still pretty warm for it being the first week in November. So I think getting in there, I mean, it's panned out for you, the south winds that you've had. Just get in there early and, stick your face in the wind, see what happens.
Man, I'm jealous, you guys. It's 78 degrees there. It snowed and it was 30 here today, so
Ooh. Yeah,
a
it
little chilly.
was. I was rocking I mean, we wear polos, like polo t-shirts at work. I
Hmm.
mean, I've been wearing pants because the mornings are still kind of cool, but
Yeah.
I as quickly as I could, I dropped my jacket and hoodie. Like as soon as the sun came up, basically, it started getting warm. I was like, it was gonna get hot if I kept all that stuff on. So yeah, it's kind
I will
of
say, sorry, go ahead.
what's that?
I was just saying, I will say it was nice that today being cold and snowy was nice because the deer were moving all around
Yeah,
us. So there's so many out. It was awesome.
yeah. That's something I'm having like the hardest time getting used to is like really warm weather. Like I'd be fine with like 50s and stuff this time of year, but it being like
Hmm.
78, it's like that's kind of like hot. It's hot to me.
That is
So
hot.
um, as far as hunting side of it goes, like I would really enjoy like a mid to low 50s day, get the cooler temperatures, get those deer moving, like
Hmm.
earlier, especially. But take what you get.
Yeah.
Work with the hand you're dealt. But um, yeah, because I mean, when we had those cool temps like a month ago or 3 weeks ago, they were moving. They were moving early, and that's when I had seen the most action on camera and in person. And so, um, until we get another cold front that comes through, it's just gonna kind of be good luck seeing where those deer are at, and hopefully they come out. I mean, when we've been out, when Tanner and I got ours, I mean, it was cooler than it is now, but they were moving midday, and so I don't know where
Okay.
they were moving to and from, but um, that's when I saw when I went out this past weekend, I had seen those two bucks, and they were moving midday as well. So. Um, who knows? Maybe with this warmer weather, midday, like well before sunset, you might just catch something traveling between one feature and another. So,
Hmm.
um, like Tanner said, trying to
The
get in as soon as I can.
the day we shot our deer, that whole week, the highs were in the like high 50s, and we were seeing lows in like the 40s and 30s.
Okay.
And then the weekend, the day that we were out, the high was 75. And
Yeah,
I remember uh, talking to Justin about it, and I was like, of course, like the 2 days that we get a hunt are going to be like borderline hot. And it's like
right.
it's been the same. It was the same way last year. Like we would get a nice cold front coming through, and it would be like really super duper cool down. And then it's like, oh look, it's going to be in 80 degrees again on Saturday and Sunday, and it's the middle
Mhm.
of November. So not used to that really. But I mean, like you said, gotta deal with it, I suppose. And
Yeah.
hopefully we get some cool weather soon, and we can get some action rolling, and hopefully we can have more than two snows this year.
Yeah, that'd be nice for ducks, deer, all the above.
Hmm.
Yeah, which last year I mean, one of the times we went duck hunting was it was the weekend before we got 19 inches of snow, and then we went the weekend after, and it was like the coldest it's been in Middle Tennessee in a long time. Like
Yeah,
we were seeing like -10 overnight, and the highs were like 5 degrees for 3 days. So like we went out scouting ducks one night, and like we didn't think it was going to be that cold. It ended up being that cold. And it was open water when we went and scouted like at sunset. And we said like, oh my God, there's a lot of ducks here. And then we
Hmm.
got there the next morning, and the water was it was 4 inches of ice like 600 yards out. We were like, well, I mean,
That dang global warming,
we
right.
saw mucho ducks. We saw mucho ducks. Only they were about 1,000 yards away in the middle of the lake. So
Yeah.
hard
So
to compete with live decoys. But it'd be nice to get some cool weather and maybe a little bit of frost or snow here in the next couple weeks in primetime deer season. But I don't see that happening.
yeah, the forecast is not showing that that's highly likely. So
Yeah,
you never know. Maybe something happens, but it'd be nice. But yeah,
we
that's
may
my
get
plan for what's that?
we may get some more moisture coming up though. There's
Yeah,
another tropical storm developing down south that's supposed to move into the Gulf, and we may get some aftermath from that. We may get some rain from that, but I don't think I really don't think we're going to get much frost until around January, if I were to guess.
yeah. I think we're supposed to. We if we get rain, it's going to be like overnight and very little, and so moisture a little
Yeah.
bit, but definitely no frost, and temps aren't going to be really as low as they were a few weeks ago. So, um, no, that's the plan for the next couple days, and then this weekend. Um, I guess my plan, I don't know what I'm going to do. I might do a morning sit like Saturday or Sunday, um, just to mix it up because I haven't been out in that area for a morning sit in a while. So who knows? Maybe
Hmm.
maybe catch them, go and sit through the midday, and then just get out of there by. you know, 3 o'clock, or well, 3 o'clock is almost sunset by this time of year, but go and uh, sit it out till 1 or 2 o'clock and get out of there. Um, who knows? Maybe do an all day sit since the sun sets earlier, but um, yeah, that's I don't know where I'm gonna sit. I mean, I think I would like to leave that spot that I think Tanner's gonna go to. I'll let him say where he's gonna go or where he's planning on going. But I'll kind of leave that spot for him. Might try a couple other little areas that I've been looking for, looking at on Onyx and Spartan Forge that we haven't really been into before. When I was talking to, again, another shout out to Bryant, when I was talking to him, he went over and hunted um, a spot that Tanner and I had hunted a little bit last year, and he ran into some hunters, um, or just other people that were out. I guess I don't. He said it didn't look like they were hunting, so I don't know what they were doing, but um,
Where was that? The other side?
yeah, like by the saddle spot, the hill spot.
Okay, where we duck hunted.
Yeah, so I might try to sit kind of on the same side of the creek that Tanner and I got our does, but just a little bit farther out. I might change up my parking spot and come in from a different way, and I don't know, just kind of read the wind and base off of that. But yeah, I mean, try something new and going in the morning. It'll be tough going in the morning to a blind spot, like a spot that I haven't been to before. It could be a total disaster. It could work out great. So I don't know. We'll see. We'll see on that. Tanner, where you plan on sitting?
I don't know. I'll probably hunt that same tree, to be honest with you, and mostly because I want to see what comes through, and like I'm not gonna be, first year that comes through, we're gonna be
Hmm.
ready, set, shoot. But I'd also like to see if what their movement's like, and if they're all gonna be working these same trails.
Yeah.
Because I mean, like the way it worked out for us, the deer that I shot, she came, I mean, exactly where I thought she was gonna come from. Um, and then kind of in the little bottom is there are like four trails that cross and turn into one that go down the hill. So there's, I mean, they're coming from all over the place, but it seems like this spot that we're at is kind of it's a more covered but accessible area for them. It's not wide open like some of the other spots that they use. So I'd like to see what I can see, if anything,
Hmm.
and see how long I can tolerate the squirrels.
Squirrels and mosquitoes.
Yeah, hopefully no mosquitoes, 'cause I think it's still going to be in the 70s this weekend. So my worst nightmare.
Yep.
But
Yep. I think
yeah, we'll see.
think that's a good
I
plan.
may, you may. I mean, you know better than anyone that I'll either change my mind or switch it up. I'm very indecisive sometimes, but I think. I mean, it's hard to not go back to the same spot where you've had success, but it could blow up in my face. So I don't know.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think it's a good idea to go in there because we know that that's a heavily traveled spot. I mean, we each shot the first doe we saw that came through there in live
Yeah.
action, but it'd be interesting to see if some bucks do move through there, or how many deer actually do move through there. So um, I don't know. I guess we'll see. I'll let you kind of have that spot
Also,
this
with
weekend.
muzzleloader opening this weekend, I'd be curious to see if like anybody actually ventures up there, or if we're not like this, because majority of the muzzleloader hunters that we saw last year, I mean, we every time we saw them, they were walking in the field, and it's like you could see them, and then you would hear them shoot, and then it was like you didn't really see them again, or you saw them again and they didn't have a deer. So. We also didn't hunt this spot opening weekend of muzzleloader last year. We went to a completely different spot way down south, and it was a interesting choice of ours. But
Yeah, it pays to look at the regulations and know the dates that other seasons open.
yeah, it was also our second weekend out, so we were just like, well, the hell with it.
Yep.
Yep.
So we'll have to work around.
They stick muzzleloader season during archery season up here too. It sucks.
Yeah.
Yeah.
We only get a month.
That's about what archery gets here too. I think the opening weekend was the 28th, September 28th, and
Yeah.
then muzzleloader opens up. So this weekend, Saturday would be the 9th. So yeah, I
Well,
mean a month and 5 weeks, maybe 4 weeks.
I guess month and a half if you count antelope because antelope starts mid August. So
Yeah.
Mm.
So we at least get a little time, and I guess Velvet hunts 2 weeks before opener, or is it in August?
It was in August, but yeah, it was just a 2 day private land only,
Yeah. Well,
archery only. So that's definitely
yeah,
something. Well, it's not unique to Tennessee, but it's unique to, I guess, the region. I had never seen
yeah.
or heard of it before, and then it was like, what the heck is this 2 day hunt? But it's pretty cool. It'd be nice, maybe someday find a big deer on private land that we can take advantage of.
Somebody,
But
somebody lets you shoot.
right, or maybe eventually, own some land and have your own deer
Yeah,
to hunt. That'd be cool. So, but
true
yeah, I
that.
think that's kind of it on the my recap and what I've been seeing a little bit and kind of the plan the next few days. And I don't know. Again, some listener feedback. Obviously, you guys don't know exactly where we're hunting, but based on what you hear, sound like we got some good plans. Or with the rut coming up, let's get some feedback from some listeners on what the plans for the rut are. Like what are some big plans on where you're going to hunt? Are you going to base it off of food or water or fields or bedding areas? What are you guys looking for the most? So throw some comments in there, and again, like, comment, subscribe, follow, share, all the above.
Before we go, one thing
Yeah.
that, um, and this is my second year of data. Last year, I noticed a lot more around this time of year, a lot more dead deer on the highways and the interstates.
Yeah.
Um, we got back yesterday. We were coming home from the airport, and I saw two new dead bucks on the interstate. So I think the more dead deer you're going to see on the highway is going to kind of play a part into them chasing during the rut and being much more careless, especially does. They're just trying to get away from them for the most part, and the bucks they just get stupid. So
Mhm.
there'll be, I think there might be something there where the rise in deer deaths on the interstate could also mean the rise in rut action.
Could be
Just
my
something
guess. My last
that I've
point.
noticed.
I do. So I work at a golf course, and so we have deer that you know, they live in the area or live on the course basically. And I remember last year, I have like videos, and my phone reminded me that it was like the last week of October. I had bucks fighting in the middle of the fairway of one of our holes, and I've got a video of it. And so, um, I actually got to see it last year. I haven't seen any bucks chasing. I mean, there were lots of times last year I saw them chasing does and fighting and all sorts of stuff. So I saw rut action at work, and I haven't seen really much of it yet. So I don't know if that. I mean, I've seen some like really good bucks at work, but I haven't seen any rut action. So um, that could be my cheat code of being able to know when the rut really starts taking off, but. Haven't seen it yet, so I guess we'll just kind of play it how I've been playing it.
Yeah,
Brooks,
yeah.
any closing remarks?
uh, nothing. You guys better get something this weekend. That's all I'm gonna say.
Yeah, let's get some more meat in the freezer. Get some more ground venison, some steaks.
Mm-hmm.
Brooks is gonna go put a ninja suit on and look for that deer he saw earlier.
Damn right I am. I'm gonna come right behind it and just. Just kidding.
Jump out of
I
the
think.
tree on it, land on its back.
Yeah,
Yeah.
die from the tree.
Oh my God.
Oh Lord.
Oh,
All
I wish
right.
it was.
Well,
I wish we could hunt that one, but oh well.
yeah, in our wildest
Oh
dreams.
wait.
Well, we'll close on that. Thanks for listening, Brooks, Tanner. Thanks for joining me, and we'll catch you guys on the next one.
See you guys.